Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where we are currently pushing through the Pelosema Nation up over this direction, and we've definitely got some work to do on that. We're also working on stockpiling food, but we're approaching our capacity there, so I want to just hop through here and see, have we taken any amount of losses recently? No. We can put some not food into the Federation fleet, but I think we're going to have to start selling food. Not ideal, for sure, but we'll just not hit the cap. That's okay. We'll keep most of this food around, and that will be fine for the moment. So we're just bombarding in a couple of locations here. Here in New Light, this is at 2202. And in Yugazim on Joy, this is at 2272. Wait, is that exactly the same? No, it's 70 apart. Okay, it's very close to being exactly the same, but it's not quite there. So we're going to be pushing through up over this direction for now, because we need to get this area taken care of. The game is frozen right now. I don't know why. Okay.
Predatory shelter engaged.
Apparently there was no reason for it. Sure. There's definitely some long daily ticks, but I don't think that was a daily tick. That was something going on for sure. I wonder if that's something going on with Satana up here. So there's definitely some weirdness going on with Satana and the Fallen Empire, and we're going to keep a close eye on that. We are in a position where I believe that we would be able to take on Satana if we needed to. The real question is, how quickly can she replace her forces? That's the question indeed. Well, we're going to get Izak under control momentarily here, and we're going to be pushing up over this direction, taking over Firmathrios, and then after that we're going to go to Teropia and begin a bombardment up over here on Xeric Perch. And that'll be absolutely fine, but that will take a little while to get there. Okay, so we see that there's a mercenary fleet up over here, not like we particularly care. That's absolute... Ooh. Okay, that was just a monthly autosave. That's fine. I was going to say, that was very laggy for a moment there, but no, it's okay. It's okay. So we could definitely go for some upgrades on this cogitation world. That's not a terrible concept. We'll just do something about like that for now. And that's mostly to spend down our biomass, but it's not even that big of a deal, to be honest. So we have these guys up over here building, but I'm thinking we might want to start grabbing some of these systems out over here eventually. Maybe that's something we want to do after the war. I don't know. I'll think about it.
Predators engaged.
Oh. For a second, I was like, where are we fighting? There shouldn't be any fighting, but they decided to attack us here. This is a terrible choice. Why would they do this? There are 0 scenarios where this is going to be a good idea.
Predatory shelter engaged.
Honestly, our fighters almost are going to take them out before they get to us. Like, this is a terrible concept. Sure, we're swarming on the wrong side of the star, but they're getting absolutely wrecked by fighters right now. There's very little that they can do here. I don't know why they thought this was a good idea. This was never a good idea. So what did we end up losing in that? That was this here, and we lost a whole lot of nothing. And they also lost nothing, remarkably. So, okay, sure. Now this fleet is going to have to be reinforced here, because there was one unit that came in and then retreated, which means we probably have an extra fleet here somewhere. Yeah, the 17th Corolla. This was a Weaver. It's going to be back in 23 days. I'm just going to disband it. It's not a big deal. So that's absolutely fine. And we're just going to push our way up towards Firmathrios at this moment. And there's no problem whatsoever with that. So there's not all that much stopping us from pushing out this way. There is a Pelosema Nation seed capsule over here, and
Horizons widened.
They're going to the hyper relay. Okay, I'm not sure exactly what their plan is there, but we just got ourselves an interesting building here. I'm gonna grab kind of at random here, but now we want to go into these hunter worlds. And we can check in here. Okay. It's not available. Okay, so we need to figure out what's going on with that. So that's the military academy. Oh, empire limit of 1. Gotcha. We probably already have one then, captured on one of our worlds. Well, in that case, that's a little bit disappointing, but we can absolutely get some bone garrisons in here and get this upgrading. So we may as well get that done. We can get these specializations going in here, and there we go. That'll do for now. Cool. So they're going to have some forces up over here. They can come in through this wormhole. We know basically for a fact at this point that this wormhole connects to Resor. We know this through process of elimination, so that's absolutely fine. And yeah, we know that this connects elsewhere. We know that this connects to Caravan, which is very rude, but whatever, it's fine. So we're just going to push up over this direction, and there's very little they can do about this situation at this moment. So that looks good. We've got
Growth
our forces
continues.
coming in here.
Predatory shelter engaged.
Excellent. And Eolum is about to fall. We'll just continue to push through there. We're full on food. We should probably sell a little bit. We're at the minimum food price. That's understood. Okay, so let's check in on Thabit here. This is at... actually, 1770. That's a lot lower than I expected it to be. Remarkable. Over here at Joy, we are at 1572. So these armies are going to be wiped out fairly soon, and remarkably, the ones at Thabit are too. I mean, the Skyfall Voidwings have been reinforced pretty significantly at this point. So I guess that doesn't surprise me that much. I'm going to get rid of this fleet here, and then we're going to reinforce this fleet, which is now at full strength. Remarkable. So we need to increase this a little bit. So I'm going to take this up to 10, and then I'm going to take this to 20. This is going to go to 40. This is going to go to 80, and then this is going to go to 160, which is apparently fine. How are these this cheap? Oh my. I didn't expect that to be full strength right away like that. Okay. So we're starting to run into Federation naval capacity issues here. And the fleet is still at full strength? And now we can add again. Okay. This is weird. We're adding to this, but the fleet is at full strength. I don't quite know what to make of that. That's a little odd, for sure. We can add here again. This should be targeting 88 at this moment. But we're still at full strength. I don't know. I have very little explanation for that, so that's absolutely fine. We're going to push up to Karazit, and once we get this under control, I want to start bombarding at Tassu Brood. And the question is, how strong is that? 1567 is the answer. So we're going to be intercepting these guys over here. They're going to go away to our fighters very, very quickly. Wait, this went to the Uvzant League. Odd. Doesn't really matter, of course. As long as it's not the Peliseman Nation, we're okay with it. So that seems okay for now. And this is actually our Titan here. It's going to be grouped together, and that's fine. So we're going to push through here, and we will see if we get these or if the Uvzant League does. I suspect all of these up here were taken from the Uvzant League. That's my theory, but I would also expect that to be the case for these. I don't know. It's kind of odd, for sure. Well, we're going to push through up over here. They've moved some forces into
Predatory
Teropia.
shelter engaged.
Not that we care. It's kind of irrelevant to us, to be honest. So we're going to be pushing into Karazit very shortly here, and I want to check in here. So we can't add more Federation naval capacity here, and this is still reading as we can't reinforce it because it exceeds the current Federation naval capacity. Okay, So we can bring this back to around here. There we go. That's the Federation naval capacity, allegedly. So that seems fine. We'll just have to adjust that around, it seems. Okay. Very odd. But over here in Thabit, we can go to New Light, 1494. Okay, and then Joy is at 920. So this bombardment is going to be done soon, at which point we're going to start pushing out this direction. Ultimately, I'm just looking at the way this is laid out, and I'm thinking, if we can get up to Zabine, that's a big deal. We can cut them off from a big chunk of their space. Like a big chunk of their space. So that seems pretty cool. No doubt about that. And we can start pushing out over this way eventually as well, but I think I'm going to hold off on that for now. I want to get Fear Mathrios under our control, and then we can start utilizing potentially this wormhole to attack Rezor, as long as we're relatively quick about it. Which would be the dream. So this is going to the Uvzant League. We do need to sell off a few energy credits, and we need to sell off a little bit of food as well. So we'll get that done. That's absolutely fine. They're moving in to attack Yugzim, and this is a pretty powerful fleet, actually. This has to be a dimensional fleet, right? That's over 1 million strength. Now, we've got 700,000 strength here, and we're currently bombarding. The question is, they're coming in here. Are we going to flee to here and take this really awkwardly, or are we going to engage them properly? We'll find out.
Cleansing.
Oh, that's definitely a dimensional fleet. So that's fine. We're going to immediately start doing damage to this dimensional fleet. Some very awkward positioning going on here. Yeah, we're taking this very awkwardly. So this is not the way this is supposed to go. Our fleet is heading to here, and they're supposed to be engaging up here and push down like this. But this is not happening, and so our Harbingers are taking a lot of damage here. This is definitely incorrect. This is not the way this fleet is intended to behave. So that's sad, but it's not the end of the world. We are still doing heavy damage to this enemy fleet over here, and we are probably going to win that, but we're going to take more damage than we should have, is the takeaway here. Even if we don't win it, we've got plenty of resources to replenish these fleets. So I'm not concerned about that. The real question is, yeah, our fighters are doing absolute work over here. We can see that they're dropping quite a lot. It's just very unfortunate that our swarmers have decided that the correct place to swarm is here. That's definitely not the correct place to swarm. Or actually more like here? I'm not sure where exactly they're... Some of them are swarming here, some of them are swarming here. This isn't the right location. But at the very least, we're able to take these guys down from a distance with our Harbingers for a while. But this is going to do a lot more damage than it should, because of our swarms being in completely the wrong part of the system. This is a bug that I really hope Paradox fixes soon, because it's bad. This is a bad bug. Looks like some of our swarmers might actually be heading to engage now, though. Interesting. Now that they're all grouped together, that's not necessarily as useful. But we're definitely moving in here with some of our forces. We're going to take way more hits here than we needed to. There's no doubt about that. Way, way, way more damage than was necessary. But unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it. It's just a bug in the game. What are we going to do? So we're going to go bombard at Tassu Brood up over here. And over this direction, I would really like to get this fleet over here under control. So we're actually going to go to Isperia, Meredith, Teropia, and then backtrack and take Fear Mathrios, and then move through, and we're going to take Rezor. And that'll prevent things like this happening in the future, which would be nice. But we're doing very hefty damage to these guys. Now our swarmers are beginning to properly engage at this moment. And you can see just how much damage we're doing now that our swarmers are actually engaging. Unfortunately, it's pretty late, and we've taken a lot of losses that we didn't need to. It's fine. We're still going to win this, but this is more expensive than it needed to be.
New knowledge blooms.
So they're going to retreat pretty soon here. They're going to be very sad about this result. Yeah, there's their retreat. And this would have been much better if we had engaged properly. Unfortunately, we did not. So the Blossoming Corolla is going to need some new maulers here. It took heavy losses in the mauler department. We're going to need some additional weavers as well, which is unsurprising, and some additional harbingers. Again, that's quite unsurprising. So let's put this here, and we're going to need to put in a juvenile harbinger. There we go. And otherwise, this looks good. Okay, so the Blossoming Corolla, good to go. We'll get that reinforced. Apparently, it split off a mauler. I don't know. We'll build another one. It's fine. And then we're going to grab the 8th Corolla here. This is going to be the same sort of scenario where we need to get a bunch of these juvenile maulers in here. And a bunch of juvenile weavers as well. Cool, something like that. And then we lost some harbingers here, as we would expect. And we'll add in the harbingers. There we go. And that should be good. Once again, that split off these mature maulers, or this mature mauler and this mature weaver. So that belongs to the 8th Corolla, right? So if we just merge these like this, is that fine?
Predators engage.
I don't know. They're taking like a million years to engage here. And now we're being attacked again over here. Okay. So these guys are coming in. This fleet is not as threatening, and we're in a better position, but it's not a good position. We're still swarming in the wrong place here, but our fighters are coming in, and our fighters are just tearing them apart at this moment. So that looks absolutely fine. Our fighters should be okay over there. Up over this direction, we're still working on pushing up here. We do have some research that we should probably put in. So living reactive armor will be fine, and then we can go for habitability modification. I don't care about that, to be honest. Pinion accelerators. That'll be okay. So they're attacking us with their weaker fleet here, and they should have done this simultaneously with the dimensional fleet, but they didn't. So now we've got the 8th Corolla over here, but we actually need to go through all of these again. So this is the 8th Corolla here, and we do need to get some reinforcements going in here. 38 out of 39. Okay, so this means that we need one more mauler here. And 9 out of 10 on the stingers means that we need to add in an additional juvenile stinger, and then we need to add in an additional harbinger as well. So we did take a couple of extra losses from that. So we'll get that reinforced. Next up, the 11th Corolla. So the 11th Corolla needs a lot of maulers here, that's for sure. We'll get those put in, and then we're going to need a couple of weavers. Not that many, actually. And then we are going to need a couple of harbingers, which we need juvenile harbingers. There we go. And then we also lost several stingers on this one. This was painful, for sure. But we'll get those stingers built. Okay, so that fleet is good to go. And now the Blossoming. So what did the Blossoming end up losing? Not much. A couple of harbingers. And now it's good. Okay. Perfect. So let's reinforce this fleet, and let's take this to 88 and 167, and it's still saying it's at full strength, so I think that's a little bugged, but that's okay. So down over this direction, Joy is still not under control. They destroyed the station here, which is a little awkward, but it'll get rebuilt, and they're at 0 armies, or they were at 0 armies. Interesting. We're going to start a bombardment here, and that's going to surrender very quickly now. I don't think they were at 0 before that battle. Interesting. I think they were at like 700 before the battle happened.
Engaged.
Not sure how that happened. Interesting. Well, we're going to take out... Ooh, I like this system. This is a good system. They've got that arc furnace in there. That's going to be very useful for the Ubzant League, because I'm assuming they're going to get this. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to head up to Teropia, wipe out this fleet that's up here. That'll be absolutely fine. And at this point, we should have this under control. Down here at Joy? Yes. So that looks perfect. I want these guys to begin pushing forward, and I want them to go, for now, to Rezor. So they're just going to go do that for the moment.
The wild experience.
That seems perfect. So we are still bombarding up at Karazit, and I think we only just arrived here. So let's see what we've got here. Okay, 1140, that's pretty good. We've been there for a little bit then. So that seems perfect. So now what we need to do is we need to go take Teropia, which will arrive there very shortly indeed. The real question is, how long are they going to keep this up for? Because this war is not going well for them. Not going well for them in the slightest. They're going to be losing new light here very soon-ish. I mean, we're working on it. It's down to 1150. This fleet is getting a lot stronger. So our bombardment is getting faster. That's great. Okay, so we're attacking here. This is a great swarm sloth. I love it. So that's absolutely fantastic. We're going to wipe out this starbase very easily. And then the rest of their forces up here, they're pretty scattered at this moment. Yeah, we can see our fighters just sweeping across this direction, and that's going very well for us. So they're definitely going to lose this engagement. We probably took a few losses, though, and we'll have to replenish them. Everything's looking great here. Any moment now, they'll get out of here. But it is not this moment. Those fighters are still doing damage back there, and they're just about done. Why are we pulling back? Are we swarming back here now? We were swarming fairly correctly, but we appear to have decided to stop. Okay. The fighters will take care of the rest of this. It's not a big deal. I think this is the only ship they have remaining now. And it's out of here. Perfect. So we want to pull back at this point and go to Firmathrios, but we do need to get some reinforcements done here. So let's get some Maulers in here. We did definitely lose some Maulers, no doubt about that, 30 of them. And we lost a few Weavers as well. We'll get those in, and otherwise this looks good. We'll grab a trait here for artillery focus. That'll be useful. Okay. So we're going to pull back to Firmathrios. This is the only area they can pull forces in up over here. But we're all the way... Actually, we're almost to Rezor at this moment. And that is where we believe that this connects. So that looks good. We need to get Firmathrios taken over, though, for sure. And we need to figure out exactly where this wormhole goes. That's our current goal. So, Thabit over this direction, almost done. It's down to 946. We have this fleet bombarding at a much higher rate now. So that looks good. And we're going to continue to get our forces replenished. It's not even going to take us all that long.
Predatory shelter engaged.
So that all sounds good. Also, there's a lot of problems on Joy. We can immediately start clearing off these tile blockers, and this is basically a completely fresh planet. Okay, that's exciting. We'll purge off the undesirables, and it'll be fine. So that all seems absolutely good for this moment. I do see that they have the Dragon's Armada fleet there. We are up in Firmathrios right now, though. And we need to get this station taken over. It's basically done. Okay. Now what we need to do is we need to explore this natural wormhole. And we're going to head directly up there. We expect it to take us to here. Satana destroyed a world with a world cracker. Okay. Well, that's good to know. So Satana is destroying this fallen empire down here. Absolutely. And apparently we were unable to build a mining station here. Ah, I see. We're on automatic construction, but I'm going to take this ship off of automatic construction, and we're going to head over here and just start claiming these. I want to get those under control. Okay, so we do have these forces pushing through over here, and there's definitely more work that needs to be done up in the north over here. This is done at this moment. This is fully under our control. So we need to push up to Wankwort at this point, and we're going to grab the Uku Eri next, 3503 and 204. Actually, other way around. We're going to come up here, and then we're going to grab New Light. Cool. Not the first New Light to be attacked by us in this war, but okay. So that's fine for right now. We're currently about to push into Resor with multiple angles at this moment. We can also see our reinforcements just streaming in here. Also, this fleet arrived in Bindor. They must have jump drived there. Right? Or they retreated to Bindor. Interesting. They're in our backline, and we're going to have to do something about that, but I want to take Resor first. So that's okay. We'll get that under control. We're going to be... Okay, yeah, that does connect to Resor. So as expected, I'm not going to actually push through this wormhole, though. We're going to go take Naus, and then we're going to head into Teropia, with the goal being to bombard Pollen Cloud. That's only 94 and 2755 at Zurich Perch, so that'll take a little bit. Okay, so that all looks good. We're going to move in from Nyx here and take Resor. And I'm going to have one of these fleets, I think, and it's going to be this weaker fleet. We're going to have this go to Eel and then to Bindor, is the idea. So we're going in with the other two fleets to Resor, and they're going to hold at this position for right now. So we're going to take out this 15k fleet, no problem whatsoever there. We've got additional reinforcements on the way, of course, and up over this direction, Hotram is under our control. We're going to be attacking Wankwort shortly. Excellent. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we will continue systematically dismantling the Peliseman Nation. Honestly, they can't stop us at this moment. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special... Hang on. I just noticed. Satana is also attacking the next continuity. I just now noticed this. So she's attacking all the fallen empires. Interesting. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Spock, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.